Hello and welcome. This is Alchemistexe, and this is the banner overview for the week of December 15th. Before jumping into the banners, there's a couple things I wanted to go over, mostly related to the newest unit, Final Battle version Emmel. And what's going on here in the background is these are my summons from last week. For the coin banner, I'm only showing step 4 because I was literally the only one that had any reds in it. And then I also ended up doing that paid banner, and so I'll show that afterwards. The one where you guarantee one Genesis unit and then the rest of it sets of 25. So, about final version Emmel. In Japan, the way that it worked is that you'd get a unit alternate version, and you could not use elemental or rainbow shards to max limit break them. You could only use the shards of the unit, which sounds like a massive downside, especially because the shards are so scarce. But to balance that, once you had the unit at max limit break, you would have an enlightened sharing with the unit they came from. So if it was somebody that you already had maxed out, like say, if you maxed out Emmel maybe because you did the battle pass or you just happened to be really lucky or she's been in your soul port for a long time, then you were set. And then you'd have two units that were, kind of for the price of one. But it looks like Global is not doing that, at least for Emmel, and it remains to be seen whether or not they're going to do that for other units. Personally, I'm hoping they don't skip out on this mechanic entirely. I imagine for Emmel, they wouldn't want to retroactively change it, because if you're allowed to use water and rainbow shards on her now, taking that away is a really bad idea for anyone that pulls her in the future. And it makes me worried that they're just going to skip the mechanic entirely, but it'll just have to wait and see until they release another alternate unit version. There's also like Zangetsu, Almira, Kudenstein, which it is a bummer because it was kind of cool to have a setup where you could, once you've made it past that initial hurdle of the 375 shards, if you already had that unit raised anyway, or you had tons of resources lying around to take care of them, then you could just do it and then not worry about it anymore. Because Gumi hasn't said anything about why this is happening, it's hard for me to speculate. Like, is it because we all know that they're pretty short on devs? It was something they didn't think that they could properly implement in time, and they wanted to push the alternate unit version Emmel out for Christmas, or if it was a more conscious decision to not include the mechanic because they didn't think players would like it. No idea. I'm not even sure how I feel about it just yet, because in the case of the Emmel, even though my Emmel is like fully maxed out, I never had plans to pull for the alternate unit version. So I didn't really have a dog in the fight in this case, but I have to admit, as far as thinking about the future, it makes me want to go after the Final Battle Emmel a little bit less, even though she does look like she's really, really good as a unit, especially if you want to get ahead in PvP, and especially if you don't like dragons, you can nullify their dragon effects, so that definitely is cool. Oh yeah, they finally fixed the Legacy Ouroboros profile picture, but this was back before they fixed it. So yeah, as you can see, I ended up having some luck in that final banner, and I imagine that raising Legacy Ouroboros is going to be a bit of a slow burn, because I just barely have enough for her Gate 2 and 5 with the shards that I was given. But with that, let's jump into the banners. And here we are at the banners. So there's a bunch of paid banners. In general, I think that they're either very self-explanatory or not worth the money / gems, so I'll skip them. I also don't think this gear one is good for most people. Maybe if you're really, really new and for some reason you really, really want gears, but for the most part, I think it's better just to get your gears from mementos, and then the occasional either free gears from gear selection tickets that they just give away, or sometimes they'll have them for like part of a set in the secret shop, which I think if it comes with like a unit, a memento, and a gear, then that's a good way to go. Then we have the banners for Final Battle Emmel, and there's also reruns of Matia and Nimmel. They're all 5-step unlimited, so if you're going for them, prepare to spend a lot of gems, but otherwise pretty straightforward. Much like Legacy Ouroboros, as far as I can tell, there's no source of free shards for Final Battle Emmel. So you'll have to do more steps than you would for the units that gave away shards for free, like they did with Nimmel or Mattia. Then we get to a rather excellent banner. So this is a Limit Break Festival. As usual, I like this style of banner a lot, and then whether or not I think it's excellent or just okay really depends on the pool of units available. And in this case, that pool is top tier, like absolutely excellent. If you don't have any of these units and you can spare the gems, like it's not interfering with some plan you already had, then I definitely recommend doing all 7 steps of this, because no matter who you get, you're getting a good unit out of it. And then if you're extra lucky, you might get some other good stuff along the way. And then to add to that, you also get 800 Genesis coins, which is not as many as you get from a typical coin banner, but I think it more than makes up for it when you look at the selection of units you can get. Because in addition to the featured ones, you can also get Zaphyrus and Claybell, pretty much all the Genesis units, except for like the newest ones like Ishai and Legacy Ouroboros. So overall, just absolutely great for 7 steps. Like, even though you can't choose which one you would get, the fact is you could just get 375 shards, and then if you don't have them, you could transmute them. Done deal, and then start spending Genesis coins on them or somebody else. So yeah, very, very, very good banner, assuming that you stand to benefit from it. I wouldn't, just because if I got somebody like Quince or Nimmel, then it wouldn't help me much, but I imagine for a lot of people, this could be really, really good. Then we get to the mementos. So Final Battle, Emmel, and then Nimmel have new mementos. So the one for Emmel, as a max limit break bonus, it just gives HP, which it sounds like she wants to be really, really durable. She's got a shield that can help her out. And overall, that by itself doesn't seem like an amazing bonus. But she also gets an AoE around herself that forces unit lock, which is sometimes incredibly useful to have, given that her reactive is good at shedding both physical and magical units down, either via silence or alchemic crush. I think that's pretty good. And then besides that, the VCR is going to give you another magic attack that ignores cover and also ignores reaction abilities in general. So as far as being just a force of destruction, I think that Emmel is definitely going to want that memento in order to make her really, really strong, but at least it doesn't have something like a snowball or a skill use count +1, the stuff that you really, really look for with mementos. Now, Nimmel, on the other hand, really stands to gain from his, because it also gives skill use +1 as a max limit break bonus, meaning that if you have his other memento, it doesn't matter which one is in the sub. So it really depends on whether you want a general damage boost or a boss specific, like strong against gigantic /sin tag boss kind of thing. And then more importantly than that, the VCR is going to give you the ability to boost his reaction ability. So it also drains HP, which, as much as I really, really like Nimmel and I use him all the time, he does have the issue of being something of a glass cannon. And so this memento seems designed to address that fact. So definitely recommend going for that memento if you can and you really like Nimmel. And then besides that, for the rest of the week, Legacy Ouroboros, Ishai Ignacio, and their mementos are around, so you could go for them if you were saving an extra discount ticket for that. And then, not related to the banners, but just a kind of random aside thing, if you are interested in the protagonist characters' job 3s and you haven't gotten all the milestones from the various like hell quests that are in the reruns, the newest one was added for Kamui recently too, so just make sure that you double check the milestones on all of those and make sure that you got the protagonist specific equipment if that is something that you care about. So yeah, that is all I've got for this week. So if you are summoning this week, I wish you good luck, and I will see you all next time.